Today, I'll be going over both of the junior and senior circuit wildcard games. First, let's start off with the Yankees and the Red Sox from Boston. Well, it was Gerrit Cole against Nathan Eovaldi. So in the first inning, the Red Sox got things started early. It was Xander Bogaerts who got the Sox on the board via one big swing. Bogaerts hit a two-run home run to center field off of Gerrit Cole to make the game 2-0 Boston. So as you can see, this start was not good for the Yankees horse, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So in the third, Red Sox DH Kyle Schwarber would lead off the Sox half with a solo bomb to right field off of Gerrit Cole, 2 home runs off of Gerrit Cole, 3 runs total to make it 3-0 Red Sox. And when it comes to this Cole versus Schwarber matchup in this wild card game, it was not the first time these two faced off in a one-game elimination. No, because if you can remember, this was Kyle Schwarber's second career postseason home run and wild card home run off of Gerrit Cole, because he took the righty deep back in the 2015 National League wild card game that was played in Pittsburgh, as Cole was part of the Pirates and Schwarber was part of the Cubs. So that home run by Schwarber would yield an end for Gerrit Cole and his wild card outing for the Yankees, as he would only last 2 full innings for New York. That is terrible. We're going to get into that, but that is bad. In the top of the 6th, the Yankees would get their first run via a solo home run that went down the right field line off the bat of Anthony Rizzo. This would be the first run that Red Sox starter Nathan Eovaldi would give up all night. This homer would make it 3-1 Sox. However, in the bottom of the 6th, the Sox would get a run back thanks to an Alex Verdugo RBI double to center. Bogaerts would score on the play to make it 4-1 Boston. Moving on to the 7th, the Red Sox offense, particularly Alex Verdugo, would stay hot, because in Boston's half of the 7th, they would score 2 more runs via a 2-run double off the bat of Red Sox left fielder Alex Verdugo, which made the game 6-1 Boston. So the next and last team to score in this game would be the Yankees in the top of the 9th. Yankees slugger Giancarlo Stanton would hit an unceremonious solo home run that just went inside the pesky pole down the right side. This solo bomb would make it 6-2 Red Sox. Now here's a fun sort of fact that I saw being thrown around on social media, and that is, if it wasn't for the unfavorable dimensions, particularly in left field at Fenway, Giancarlo Stanton could have hit 3 home runs in this one wild card elimination game and possibly been a Reggie Jackson-esque like hero here in 2021, because Giancarlo Stanton ended up hitting a 400-foot single, a 345-foot single, and barely squeaked a 344-foot home run. But nevertheless, Stan's home run would be the last run the Yankees would get all season, because they would fall to the Red Sox in this wild card game and be eliminated by their arch rivals by the score of 6-2. So the end line of this game would look like this. The Yankees would get 2 runs on 6 hits, while the Red Sox would get 6 runs on 7 hits. The Yankees starter, Gerrit Cole, would only last 2 innings, while the Red Sox starter would go 5 1/3. Now, I want to talk about Gerrit Cole real quick, because it's important. Now, of course, Cole got taken out very early in the game. He only pitched 2 innings for a man who's getting paid $324 million. You know, we've been saying, for the past 2 years, did not get Gerrit Cole to win you the big game against the Red Sox in April. You got Gerrit Cole to win the big game against the Red Sox in October, and not April. It was a disappointing outing for Gerrit Cole. His fastball was there. It was straight as hell, but it was there when it comes to velocity, but it was still straight as hell. And I just felt like whenever he threw that fastball, if that ball was above the belt buckle, Boston offense just went knick-knack paddywhack against it. And all of his home runs he gave up, 2 of them, was on fastballs up in the zone. Bogaerts was up in the zone, and Schwarber was like above his head. But the point is that the fastball was so straight, the velocity was irrelevant because it wasn't moving. It had no action to it. And, this kind of reminds me of what happens to Justin Verlander when Verlander has pitched in big postseason games for the Astros and the Tigers, because I remember particularly in 2012, the Tigers gave up 3 home runs in Game 1 of the World Series to Pablo Sandoval, and 2 of the 3 home runs, Sandoval hit off of Justin Verlander, the Game 1 starter, and I do believe both of the home runs he hit off of Verlander were off a fastball. Fastball up, hit it to center. A fastball up, he hit it to right field. So, I mean, that is basically what happened to Garrett Cole last night. He relied too much on the fastball. It didn't have the late life to it that it usually does. It had no movement. It was straight as a string bean, and guys were just teeing off on the fastball. 2 innings of work, that's not good, but I get it. I don't blame Aaron Boone for taking him out, because this is a 1-game elimination. You would have heard it from everybody and their brother that if he would have left him in there and Cole would have given up, say a grand slam, people would have said, well, you have a lights-out bullpen. Bring in the bullpen. So if you're Aaron Boone, it's a terrible situation. It sucks that Cole only lasted 2 innings, and if you're the Yankees and you paid this guy $300+ million, you need him to at least go past 5 innings. You have to. You just have to. So that was the scenario in Boston. Alrighty, let's move on to the Cardinals and the Dodgers wild card game that took place at Chavez Ravine. For the senior circuit wild card game, it was the 40-year-old Adam Wainwright against the 37-year-old Max Scherzer. In the first inning, the visiting Cardinals will be the ones to get on the board first, with the Cardinals' first run coming via a wild pitch out of the right arm of Max Scherzer. Second baseman Tommy Edman would score on the play to make it 1-0 Redbirds. It wouldn't be until the bottom of the 4th inning when the Dodgers would respond. Their most clutch postseason player, Justin Turner, would come through once again as he hit a solo home run to left field to tie things up at 1 against Adam Wainwright. Now, although both pitchers would have solid outings for their respective clubs, it would be Max Scherzer who would first leave this game, as Dodger manager Dave Roberts pulled him early after allowing 2 Cardinal runners to reach base, but not before he recorded the first out of the 5th inning. Now, this was obviously a puzzling move at first by the Dodger manager. The reason why is because this situation personally reminded me of when Max Scherzer was in a jam as he pitched against the Oakland A's back in 2013 when he was a part of the Tigers. That was in the ALDS. Now, Scherzer back then in 13 came out of the bullpen in a bases-loaded jam with no outs and recorded all 3 outs without allowing 1 run to score. I bring this up because this situation against the Cardinals to me was very similar, because Scherzer had 2 men on base with nobody out, but ended up striking out Tyler O'Neill to get the first out, which led me to believe that Dave Roberts would let him try to get the next 2 outs. I mean, he struck him out. I get it, there's 2 men out, but this is Max Scherzer here. This is not Clayton Kershaw, no disrespect, but you know how Kershaw is. So, I mean, Roberts pulling the trigger on Scherzer early was very shocking to me. He better hope this move works out. And, luckily for the Dodgers and Dave Roberts and Max Scherzer, it did, because Dave Roberts decided to go to the bullpen and bring in Joe Kelly, as Kelly ended up recording the final 2 outs of the inning, and he got out of there unscathed. Now, through the 6th inning to the 9th inning, the game would become a battle of the bullpens and would remain a 1-1 tie. That was until the bottom of the 9th inning, because super utility man Chris Taylor would hit a walk-off 2-run home run to left field to send the Dodgers to the National League Divisional Series and book a date with the Giants in San Francisco, California. And that will start on Friday night. That's all I got for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe on the road to 1K. And as always, I'll catch you guys later.